So I'm delighted to say I've been joined by Pitbulls player assistant coach Adam Harding. Adam, welcome back.
It's nice to hear player there, that's for sure.
Good summer?
Yeah, it was good, thanks. It was positive.
And yeah, I mean, straight off the bat, say nice to hear player. Is it good to have been back on the ice over the last few weeks and months?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I feel like a kid again, really. It's like, I don't know, just having a year out, just kind of like getting back on the ice. Like, you just have that love for the game again. Like, not that I lost it, but you just, like, it's just sort of heightened my love for the game, and makes you realize how much you actually miss it if it was to go away. Getting to my age at 30, you start to consider like the sort of retirement, but it's made me just decide, hey, no, like let's do this for as long as I can, you know.
Yeah, I guess on playing with these guys, he does probably feel quite old, doesn't
I
it?
mean, I'm an old guy on this team. Like, I'm glad we brought Lids in, that's for sure.
Um, so, so yeah, I want to go back to sort of March, April of last year when you were part of the Bison, and like want you to sort of say from there what's been the process of you being off the ice and now hopefully being back on it for the start of the season.
Yeah, well, I got injured in the last game of the year. It was like a nothing game. I was back checking. That was the first problem. I probably shouldn't have done that last game of the year with nothing to play for. And yeah, I was back checking, and I sort of got flipped, and I ended up going headfirst into the post. And my whole body went numb. I couldn't feel a thing. I went to the hospital, and they diagnosed me with what at the time was a concussion. So, for quite a while, I thought I had a concussion. I probably did for maybe 6 to 8 weeks. So then throughout the summer, I obviously signed in Bristol. Was expected to play. I had every intention in play, and I was trying to get myself ready to play. But like with like previous concussions that I had, 6 to 8 weeks comes around and you feel fine. This one was just prolonging. I'm thinking, okay, I've had a few now, so does it just get longer? And it got to like a couple of weeks before the season, and Jamie's starting to panic a little bit. I'm starting to panic a little bit. I'm like, am I going to be ready? Am I not? And they jumped on the ice in practice. I was feeling okay, like not great, but I thought I'd just sort of get by. And as you saw, I jumped in a couple of games, just played some special teams, but I was never myself, regardless. Really tough year, actually, because like, imagine like something getting taken away from you. Like, it's really difficult to like, you can be out there and help you, like, and it's not even just about the game. Like, you take the game away from it, just like my everyday life, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't play golf, I couldn't surf, I couldn't work out. So like all of a sudden, like, if that's like your that's like something you do all the time and it makes you happy, like you get the endorphin rush from training, right? So I couldn't even do that. So like I wouldn't say I was depressed, but it's sort of, I'm not my usual self. And I tried everything. I was having balloons shoved up my nose and like inflated. It sounds crazy, but like I was seeing everyone. I saw every single specialist. Well, not every single, but like I saw a ton. I went to London, I went to Birmingham, I saw a concussion specialist, and everyone was kind of having the opinion like, oh, here, take this drug, and it's not really something I'm into anyway. I'm very conscious of my health and don't really just want to take a drug just to mask the problem. I was very keen on finding the solution, and like what for. First of all, finding what's wrong, and then finding the solution. And obviously, all season I was just not right. And when the season finished, I had a friend that went out to Canada, and he saw a specialist, and the specialist found some tears in his neck. And I thought, you know what, like this guy, he's worked with all the NHL players. So I thought, you know what, like regardless of hockey aside, like I want to be back to normal in my everyday life. If I can play hockey as a bonus, I just want to feel normal again. And I went out there, and within about 10 seconds of being on this guy's bed, so he put me down on the bed, grabbed my head, he sort of was picking around. And within about 10 seconds, he went, does that hurt? I'm like, yeah, that kills. He's like, what about that? I was like, yeah, that's even worse. And he stood me up, and he started laughing at me. Really, he's like, it kind of took me back a little bit. He's laughing at me, and he's like, oh, you've got 2 tears in your neck. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you've tore 2 ligaments inside of your neck. So like right up in here, like right attached to the skull. And he's like, that's what's causing all these symptoms, all these headaches, all these I don't know, the anxiousness and everything else, the emotion that was coming with it. So straight away it was like they injected something to sort of ease the pain a little bit, and then they did a lot of acupuncture. They did platelet-rich plasma, which is like they basically take your blood,
Yeah.
they spin it through a machine, and they re-inject it.
Yeah.
So they re-inject it into 6 places in my neck, and then it was sort of coming home and got to rehab myself and re-strengthen my neck. So basically, he was saying that like for the last few years, because my neck's not been strong, I've been so susceptible to concussion. I've been like a bobblehead basically. So it's so then the real work started. So it was like for me getting home, retraining my neck. I had to retrain my eyes as well. So my eyes weren't quite working right from the concussion. So yeah, it was just one of those things then. So I just like I made it my like sole thing. I was like, hey, like recovery. I don't drink much anyway, but it was like no drinking. I sorted my diet out. I'm just like so focused on recovery because I want to get back to like 100% full fitness. And a little bit of help from another player. Again, he went to another place in Canada, and he gave him like a bunch of stretches and exercises, and it was actually that made the change. As soon as I started doing these stretches in the neck, I felt myself again, which was great. And so it's been a while now, and I'm back full fitness. I'm training. I've been on the ice in Cardiff. I've been on the ice here a couple of times in Summer League, and it took me a while to get back to like feeling good on the ice because I've been out for a year or whatever. But I feel good, and I'm happy. And like I said, I'm just glad to be back. To be honest with you, and I gotta say as well, like thanks to like Jamie and Richie for like sort of, I know I signed a 2-year deal, and it's probably tough for them, like having me just not play for a year, and they stuck by me, and I really appreciate it, and hopefully I can make it up from this year.
Well, I'm sure that's the plan. It must have been frustrating at times, especially when like the guys were down. Like you think of the game in Milton Keynes and when Owen went down
Yeah.
in London,
Yeah.
and like I think that game they finished. I think Owen got injured in the first, and they
Yeah.
finished the game with 2 centres.
Yeah.
And obviously you're stood there watching on, and it must be so tough.
Yeah. I feel we lacked in the middle a little bit last year too. Like we were having wingers play in the middle, out of position, and we had like Nick play middle for a bit. We had like a bunch of players tried middle. We just sort of lacked that bit in the middle. And yeah, every game I'm like, man, I need to be out there. I need to be out there. I need to help. And like even those 3 games that I played, probably I shouldn't have been out there. Like I'm going to be realistic. I wasn't 100%, but I just like that's how much I wanted to get out there. And like even if it meant doing some penalty kill or some power play, whatever it was, I just wanted to get out there. So yeah, it was frustrating at times, especially like being on the bench. I'm sure it'll be good later on in life if I do decide to do that. But right now, I need to help the team. I want to be out there. I want to be, just sort of helping the team out and doing what I can. And yeah, I think that's my strength is down the middle. So hopefully this year we can be a bit stronger down the middle.
Yeah, and so maybe to Pitbulls fans that didn't really, well, obviously didn't get to watch you play properly.
Yeah.
What can they expect from you this year as a player?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've had a year out. I'm not going to use that as an excuse because I feel like I am sort of in shape. Might take a little while for my hockey sense to come back a little bit, like game sense. But I'm not the flashiest player. I just tend to be a 2-way guy. I'll play both ends of the ice. I'll help out on the back end, and I just feel like I'm quite creative. I like to suck some guys in and make some passes. I'm not a shoot first guy. I'm a pass first guy. So I don't really need the glory of that. But I'm also not afraid to be physical. I take pride in my face-offs. It's a big thing I've taken pride in my whole career, and and yeah, like penalty killing, things like that. I take pride in those things because that was my job. But when I had to play in Manchester and Dundee, I was like you don't get much ice, so you have to be good at something to get the ice. So that's something I worked on, and I think I can just bring experience. I think because like you say, I'm one of the older guys on this team, and we had a very young team last year. So just having an older guy around to sort of calm things down when it needs to, and just things like that. I think so.
Speaking of the experience, I think you touched upon Lids coming in. That kind of experience coming in through Lids and yourself being on the ice, how important do you think that might be in games that I don't want to say the Pitbulls threw away last year, but had chances to win and didn't?
You can say. I mean, we struggled towards the end of the games last year. We sort of gave away a few, I think. I think Lids' experience is going to be great. Like he's gonna help with the younger guys for sure. I say younger guys, like Smithy's been around for a while, but we still consider him a younger guy. But like helping him, Dan, Jacob, when he's around, like those guys, he's going to help out a lot. And like you say, at the end of the game, just having a guy like that to just beat the puck in the corner, close it out, or be tough around the net because he is. That's his game. Just having him around is going to be huge. I think, like I said, just having a voice in the locker room. He's not the loudest guy in the locker room. He kind of just smiles. I play with him in Swindon. He kind of just sits there and smiles, which sometimes in itself is quite nice. But when he speaks up, guys listen. So it's going to be really good to have him around.
And as we talk about the experience of like Lids coming in and yourself being back on the ice, the experience that a lot of the guys have had of their first year of National League, and then some guys like Smitty who have played now 120 odd National League games. Like obviously when Jamie come in, he said about it being a 3-year plan and getting that experience. We're now starting to get to a stage where most of the guys on the roster have played in this league and have experienced this league. How important do you think that's going to be?
Yeah, it's massive, and like you say, it's not just about last year or this year. It's the upcoming years. I don't think anyone expects us to win the league, right? So it'd be nice if we did. But like these young guys like Lipper and Jay and that, like they're still young. And you imagine in like 3-4 years time when those guys, or even probably so this year, next year, they're gaining more experience, right? So like every year they're just going to get better, especially if they have older guys around helping them and guiding them in the right direction, rather than just being a full team of young players and not having anyone to lean on. I think those guys are going to be great this year, and it's another year for them, right? So they say they've got a full year of experience last year, and they did really well. They sort of thrived on that third line, and you know what you get out of those guys, and I think they're just going to get better.
And I'm going to finish on speaking more of like your coaching side of things. I know Mason was on a podcast the other week, and he did say how influential you'd been in like his face-off game improving and his defensive game improving.
Yeah.
Do you feel like despite the fact you weren't on the ice having the impact you wanted on there, you've still had that impact on some of the younger guys as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I took on that assistant coaching role. I didn't know how much I was going to do. Granted, I did way more of that stuff than I wanted to, but with not playing, I wanted to be a presence around, and I wanted to help out as much as I could, even though I couldn't be on the ice. And I looked at a guy like Lipper and thought, I can help this guy. I can help him with part of his game, and it's nice to hear that he thinks that. He thinks that I have helped him out with the face-off and defensive side of things. But it's funny, like I'd say something to him, like, hey, like you could do this, and like literally in the middle of the game, like he'd do it, and then he'd look over the bench with a smile on his face. And I'm like, yeah, you go, kid. Like, good for you. Like this, and I have a good relationship with him. He's a really, really good kid, and like I want to see him succeed. So hopefully, he doesn't take my job this year. You'll see, but he's hopefully I can play a little bit longer, and I don't have to be bumped down the lineup too much for him. But yeah.
Right. Well, thank you for speaking to us, Adam.
Yeah, no worries.
It'd be good for everybody to see you out on the ice in 2.5 weeks' time now.
Yeah,
so thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Cheers.